this is Ray. In this episode of Busy Adults, we talk about how our game has changed from how we used to do it before COVID-19, pre-pandemic, to how we play now. Thanks for listening.
At least you're alive.
Yeah, you weren't able to join us on the last podcast because you were too busy being...
Busy adults.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I wasn't here last time for the simple fact of my computer and recording setup. It decided all to take a shit, so...
Yeah, let's get an F in the chat for... for your microphone and whatever else exploded over there. Your kayak attacked you too, right?
If it wasn't so cold, it probably would have.
It was a rough time. Okay, lots of rough times. This is the feel bad part of the episode. Your car got exploded.
Oh yeah.
How's that going?
Hit a deer, got the meat, so yay! Insurance company is going to fix it.
Yep.
Whoa.
It's going to
Figured
take
they would.
2 weeks. So they called yesterday. I actually called the repair shop, and they were like, "Yeah, your 1 year front tire. The insurance company wants it replaced because there's," and he said literally like scuff marks, and the insurance company's like, "Replace it."
Yeah.
And the dude's like, "There's nothing. It's scuff marks. Like, it's not gonna affect driving and that." He's like, "So that'll cost you an extra $150, or we can." I'm like, "If it doesn't affect driving, I don't want it." So that was cool. But they said, they were giving. I asked for a rough estimate, and he said it all depends on the parts, and he was going, super conservative, like worst case scenario, and he said 2.5 weeks. So I'll get my orange baby back, and right before deer season. So
Yeah. Definitely
Nice.
need that. It's like a holiday.
yeah,
Wow.
I was transporting a dead smelly deer, and the wife's blazer she's not all the big fan of. Did that once, and she's like, "Yeah, no, we've got the kids," and I'm like, "I get it."
Yeah. I didn't even think about that. I figured you would just take the truck, say, fuck it. Yeah, the front end's a little smushed up, but it still drives.
See, that's what I thought. And that was like my whole thing until I actually got it home and looked at it and was like, "Oh my god!" And as chunks of the front end for the 1.5 2 miles I drove home after hitting the deer, like my front end was just falling apart and falling off and was scattered all over the road for that mile. And I'm like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah,
Jeez.
it's a good thing you don't work very far from home.
Yeah, that's
That's
a
true.
plus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean, but it also sucks because it's like, hey, it's crazy and I don't want to go to work. Well, tough shit. You have a truck. Get your ass in here.
Yeah, no. Me, hour drive, my little car. I think I'll just stay home today.
You can also work. For a while.
Yeah, I've been working from home with COVID. So.
Yep, that bad thing number 2 or number 6 or however many bad things going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, Monkey over here had COVID. Still kind of do. I'm at the very tail end of the symptoms lifting, so wasn't too bad. Had a couple of days where I was pretty much just down for the count, but nothing hospitalized, no craziness. So I'm good.
Thank goodness.
Yep.
Yeah, so I've been fine.
Yeah, no bad things have happened to Ray. She's perfect.
I mean, that's just regular, everyday, normal, bad stuff. No car almost totaling or having a horrible disease have happened
Fake
to
news.
me. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I guess to segue into our topic today from COVID, we're going to talk about how our game has changed since March, roughly,
Yeah.
here in the great state of Michigan.
God, I think our last one was February because I think we were scheduled early March and it was like, "Hey, this is starting to become real," and Ray bailed and I was
Yeah.
like,
Mhm.
okay, this is happening. And
Yeah.
I think like the final straw was actually like they started canceling
Because we're on
sports.
lockdown.
No, it wasn't even lockdown, dude. Like they put us on sports because like we started canceling our in-home games before lockdown
Mhm.
happened. Like
Yeah.
That's true.
they can't because I remember like Candace and I bought Candace is my wife. We got playoff hockey tickets for the local playoff team and super geek because hockey is like my favorite sport. It is the best sport to watch. I will die on that hill.
It's pretty good.
It is like
It is.
it is the best sport to see live. Plain and simple. I will die on that hill. I've seen them all. It is the
Yeah.
best.
I just
Besides, I
wish
haven't
the
seen
leagues
I
were
haven't seen a
better.
fight. That's the only one I had, like an actual
Oh,
fight. I'm pretty
man.
sure like a UFC.
That's the best part of hockey.
Right,
It
so I gotta
is.
think like probably a UFC or like a boxing match would probably be with number one. But hockey, you know, for what I've seen, is the best by far. It's just there's like community, there's shit talking, and yeah. So we were super geeked for that, and then like literally I think like a week or two later they're like, hey, we're postponing playoffs, and it just like, oh shit, this is real. You know, the news was starting to show more and more, so we canceled it because Monkey and his wife were expecting the twins. Candace and I were expecting our youngest, plus we had the almost 2-year-old. Ray had her little one, and we're just like, you know what, we're done. Like, we'll do this digitally, and you know,
I think we played a handful, maybe 2 or 3 sessions
Yeah,
for your
total.
campaign. No, on online.
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah, when, like, a little bit before lockdown, and then, obviously, the beginning of lockdown until I had the twins.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a couple sessions online through Discord, Theater of the Mind, that kind of thing. Didn't use Roll20, I don't think,
no,
yet.
I don't think so.
So,
Well, because the girls didn't really have access to
Right.
that, and we wouldn't. I mean, because you would both have each of your wives playing. That's
Yeah.
who plays in our campaign, Drake and Writers campaign. And that's too many people at one computer.
I mean, I've got 3 screens, so it's, like, nothing for me.
For a normal home, like a normal
for
person.
you it'd be fine. For me being the DM, and
You've got 2 ultra wides.
yeah, but the problem is, like, you know, we also have to help my wife a lot with some of the more
Yeah.
intricate stuff.
Yeah.
And she asks questions about everything, which is awesome, until I could tell, like, within a, you know, there'd come a time where she'd be like, oh, hey, what's this? And be like, that's a plot point. You weren't supposed to say that out loud, and good luck, everyone, not metagaming now.
Oh, yeah.
So,
She's the best.
the best meme I've seen of this whole COVID thing was the Rick and Morty, where it's like, 2-week lockdown, we're in and out, we have a good time, we're back to work. And then it's like mid-October, and Rick and Morty are just having the complete and utter meltdown. That is it to a T.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like when lockdown happened, I was like, okay, cool. I knew it wasn't going to be the 2 weeks. I said, there's no fucking way.
No.
I was like, you know what? Let's stop bullshitting
Yeah.
and let's fucking say it like
Yep.
it is. This is going to be 4 to 6 weeks minimum. You know, my place of employment tried, like, put us on lockdown. They fought tooth and nail with their lawyers, and their lawyers were basically like, yeah, if one person gets sick and this spreads like wildfire, you will be bankrupt. Because if one person dies or medical bills, you're going to face class action. Plain and simple.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, they wanted to, you know, when it came to health and safety, fuck that. When it came to the dollar sign, it was like, oh shit, we're going to leave them home. I think
Yes.
I was not even off work for 2 days, and they were like, hey, we're just calling to see you voluntary. And I'm like, hey, I've got a toddler and a newborn on the way. If you need me, that's cool, but you better have full protective equipment for me.
Yep.
And I really don't want to, and I just got the promotion, so I didn't want to be like straight out be like, fuck you, I ain't doing this shit, because I didn't want them to be
Right.
like, hey, fuck your promotion then. So I like
Yeah.
did the whole politically nice but kind of like, fuck you, I want no part of this.
Yeah.
Well, you're trying to keep yourself and your family safe.
Right.
Like, you're not being an asshole about
No,
it. I mean,
it's not being
you are an asshole, but you weren't being an asshole.
This is true.
Yeah.
Anyone who's spent, like 10 minutes near me knows I'm an asshole.
Or just the first episode of Busy Adults.
Yes, but they could be some of the viewers could be like, "Oh, hey, that's just a persona." No, that's me.
He's an ass.
That's me to a T.
Yeah.
Like I have some of my employees be like, "You realize you're an asshole?" I'm like, "You realize I'm married? I'm not dealing with the sweet talk." And they're like, "That's meant to be." I'm like, "I know you think that's supposed to be an insult. It's not. Genetics say otherwise."
Yeah.
Um.
Yeah. And so in the industry I work in, with every single year, Chinese New Year in February, end of January, is always, shutdown period. Everybody travels Chinese New Year. That's just how it is. I knew about this whole virus shit back end of December, beginning of January, thanks to, Reddit and that wonderful source of information. And so I knew it was going to end up being bad once Chinese New Year hit. And then we started hearing about everything going on. Mm-hmm. And then, all of these Chinese travelers are going to all these different countries, and now all the other countries are starting to get infected, and so on and so forth. So I already knew, beginning to middle of January, it was going to be a shit show.
Oh, yeah.
And then it took till March, the end of March, for everybody in Michigan here to get shut down.
And we were one of the first ones in the United States to actually go through and do a shutdown.
Yeah, it was because, our Nazi-ish governor who actually was trying to do her best to keep everyone safe, and you see how all that worked out with all the crybabies in this state.
Yeah. Yep. So we knew it was going to be bad. We did. It's just, it is what it is. So, but this episode's not really about talking about COVID. It's about how it's changed how we do things.
Yeah, so that's kind of just what happened. Yep. And what we used to do is Drakenrider is our main first seat DM. Top tier DM, gold star DM.
Yep, you want crazy, in-depth, and also fucked up type of games where you're probably going to cry. He's the one.
It's Drakenrider.
Yeah.
What?
So we would go over to his house where he and his beautiful wife and his lovely children live, and we would have food, or we would order food and hang out, and sometimes watch the Michigan game before, and just play D&D. Go Blue.
Go Blue.
We would play D&D for a couple of hours and then go home and talk about it the next day. And it was great. And we loved it.
Yep.
There was also drinking.
Lots of drinking.
Lots of drinking.
Yep.
And actually, every once in a while, we would play an online game, because another great thing about Michigan is that we have a lot of snow. So sometimes we might want to play, but we don't want to risk our lives to go do it.
Even though Drakenrider is only like 2 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
Okay, asshole. I'm half an hour away.
Yeah, it's a little more difficult for you.
Yeah, poor Ray.
And
Ray lives like
Plus,
the farthest
I gotta
away.
drag a muffin everywhere.
Yeah, Ray's got to drag the child, and that Yaka didn't really give a fuck because he'd be at work and he's got a truck too, and
he's pretty much on the way.
Yeah, so he'd be like, "Hey, weather sucks. We still doing D&D?" And be like, "I gotta check with Ray because that's the thing." Oh, okay. Yeah, Ray says that D&D's still good. So cool if I crash. Yeah, I pretty much was expecting. Okay, just want to make sure. Like,
yeah,
that would be another thing. If it was D&D night, that usually meant Yaka was crashing at my house.
Oh, guys, Yaka isn't here.
Yeah, I was wondering if we were going to mention it. So, if you haven't noticed, we're 14 minutes in now. Yaka's not here because he has to work a double because he's a busy adult.
Adult.
Yeah, no Yaka.
Yeah,
that's
whoops. Okay. You know what? I'll superimpose that into the beginning. I told you I'm editing this episode.
Yeah.
Cut and paste.
Cut and
So that's what we used to do. It was great. It worked for us. It was absolutely the things we needed. My kid would play with Drake and Ryder's kid, and then eventually we're all going to have all 10 million of our kids there, and then we could shut them in a room and they could play together while we played together. However, we don't do that anymore.
No.
Nope. Not at all.
Nope. Now we are pretty much just Roll20, Discord, and or Zoom.
Yeah, so we've kind of put Drake and Ryder's campaign just on a hiatus, especially because there are more players involved. There's 6 of us?
In your campaign, yes.
Ray,
your main campaign.
Monkey,
the 2 girls and Brett.
Yeah, there's 6 of the holy fuck.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more people, there's a lot more cogs in the wheel to try to schedule and put together. It doesn't work out.
Yeah.
So for now, my campaign is kind of the main campaign that's going on. You 3 get to play in it along with 2 more of my friends. So I have 5 players. Look at that.
Yeah.
And I do it exclusively through Roll20. We used to use Discord. We're transitioning over to Zoom just because Discord has been bogged down a lot.
Yeah.
Whenever we're chatting, there's a lot of problems with, like, either people dropping out, people not having service, echoes. It's not good. Zoom is kind of taking care of all the bad stuff that's going on.
The echoes
there.
drove me up the fucking wall.
Holy shit! I know.
Yeah, and
I felt so bad because
people.
like your friends, literally,
Yeah,
I
they
would
have to
be like,
mute themselves.
well, it wasn't even that. Like, before we all figured out like the push to talk, and they would talk, and it would like be echo, 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 because it would echo into mine, which then echoes on your guys's, and I'd just be like, oh look, the friends are not talking. Or they're having their own shit. So like I would literally mute them or turn their volume all the way down, and then you'd be like, oh hey guys, what do you want to do? Be like, oh, I should probably turn this up, and like and just deal with like the echoey headache.
Yeah, it was a little difficult. Unfortunately they either had to mute themselves or we had to turn them down, which makes it a lot harder for them to play and be involved. They're also busy adults. They got 2 kids to take care of, and they're running around in the background. But that's okay. We're really casual. It's a fun, casual game for people. I know shit happens. We moved our games. It's fun, casual. Shut up.
Yours is...
I saw your face.
Yeah.
Mine.
Yeah, yours is... Well, it depends on which one you're talking about. One of your campaigns is fun, casual. The other one is kind of serious, and Aaliyah's going dark side, real. A lot more than what I wanted her to go, but it's fun.
That's true. I'm stupid, and I was like, I have one campaign going. I want to do another one that's fun.
Yeah.
And so my other campaign is a lot. There isn't even a plot. It's just for funsies, to RP or to combat, and that's it.
It's slice of life. It's the equivalent of slice of life anime.
You missed the last session, Drake and Ryder.
We'll talk
about it.
The last slice of life.
Oh boy.
There's a slice, all right, and a life involved. So yeah.
Yeah. So with Roll20 exclusively, I have a pro version of Roll20, which allows me to make as many games as I want. I have bought digitally on Roll20 pretty much all the books that are out right now. So like the DMG and the Player's Handbook, Eberron.
She is showering us with all of them.
Yeah.
It's pretty fantastic.
Oh.
Like when you say all the books, are you talking like even like Strat?
Ravnica, I have.
Yeah. Sword. Do you have Sword Adventure? Sword Coast?
I'll have to look and see if I have that one. I don't think I do. I have the new Critical Role one.
That's a good book.
Yeah. When Tasha comes out in a couple of months.
Tasha's supposed to be out like I thought it's
November.
Out. Was it?
Nope,
is
November.
it next month?
Oh, they pushed it back?
Yeah, I thought it was always November.
No, the last I knew, which was like when they first announced it was supposed to be like a Halloween type release.
Oh. Well, when it comes out, I'm gonna get it. So it's really nice because the way that Roll20 works is that you just share the knowledge and
Yep.
the book, and all of its contents are available to whoever the players are that you're sharing them
Yep.
with. So that's like subclasses and spells and items and enemies and everything in between. It's really nice. I like it a lot.
Yep.
So that's what we're doing now.
Yeah.
I mean,
Um.
it works. Listen, on
It's not the same.
Exactly.
It's not. It's
you know,
not.
I know there's like if you live out in the middle of nowhere, or you don't have a
And have good internet.
or
You need good internet.
yeah, you definitely need good internet. Yaka's struggling with that a little bit.
Lives out in the boonies.
You need
Yeah.
good internet. But if you're living somewhere that you just moved and you don't know the gaming group situation, or you don't have a gaming group, online gets you that fix. If you go from like what we were to our sessions, on when I say they'd be 10, 12 hours, no lie, they'd be up there. How much would we actually play of that, and how much of it is just like,
Yeah.
hey, if it was a big Michigan game, so Michigan State, Michigan Ohio State, well, those were usually at Ken and Curbs, and that was Friendsgiving, so never mind that Michigan Ohio State one.
Yeah, mainly Michigan State.
Michigan State. If Michigan was facing anyone, we would turn it on, and I know not everyone in the group is big, but Monkey,
Oh yeah.
Yaka a little bit, and I were huge college football guys, live and breathe Maize and Blue, so there'd be times we'd be watching it, and oh my god, Monkey's wife has did you say physical therapy?
Athletic training.
Okay, athletic training background, so she'd be involved too, because you could always tell,
yeah.
like, we'd be trying
She
to
wants
play.
people to get hurt.
Yeah, we'd be trying to play, and all of a sudden you just see Jenny light up, and it's like, oh, someone just got hurt. And if she got really lit up, it's like, oh god, let's turn around and watch what the fuck just happened, because she's smiling like a fucking demon.
Yeah.
So sadistic.
So
She can be. Yeah.
So when we would get together for a session, it was also, and we've lost some people since I first started this journey, God, 3 years ago with all y'all.
Yep.
Yaka's ex, I would always hear from him and through the grapevine that she would be pissed because, well, our sessions are get-togethers and we visit, and we might be there for 5, 6 hours, 7, 8 hours, and we might play for 3. And it's just like, have you done like in-home sessions? Like, that's what
we are
D&D
fucking
in-homes,
friends.
right?
That's what we do.
Not even just friends. We're busy adults who are friends, more family. So it's more like, hey, how you been? How you doing? Ray, you were going through some rough times, I think, in the beginning of this, so it was like catching up with you, like, hey, how you holding up? How you doing?
Yeah.
This stuff and that. And, we're really sorry for everything that's going on. So it was more like checking in on you, making sure you're still good. Yeah, anytime any of us have had, like, a rough time, D&D is more, yes, it's an escape, but it's also like, hey, how you doing? Catching up with the week. Even if we were all good, it was like, hey, what's going on? How's Muffin? How's Ollie? How's, this, that, and the other? In-home sessions are completely different. It's why, when you go to online, it's, one nice thing about online is you don't have all the
distractions.
Right, you don't have all the distractions. You don't have all the, there's no, we're still taking care of the kids, but we're not chasing after them, or, hey, kids, go play.
Right, or dealing with the animals or anything like that.
It's literally like our online sessions are 2 to 3 hours, and we get about the same amount done as if we had like a 6, 7, 8+ hour session in a house. Because I will say this, I hope this COVID shit gets somewhat under control by Christmas, because I do want to kind of continue the tradition of like, hey, D&D New Year's Eve. Like, we've done that the last couple of years.
Oh, yeah, that's been so nice.
And I'm really looking at shit going, I don't know if that's going to happen this year.
Yeah.
Like,
especially with November 4 coming around. Dating the episode, November 4 is around the corner. And a lot of people are going to be voting. A lot of people are going to be transmitting this.
A lot of people have already
nasty
voted.
Disease.
Yeah.
I've already voted.
Same.
Early voting, bitch.
Yep.
I got to drop my ballots off. But yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, you're seeing all this stuff. But yeah, I think, it's not even like the voting thing. It's, okay, so there's voting. So
well, that and Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah, so
and Christmas parties.
Yeah, Thanksgiving, and that's where I was going with it. Like, we have No, you're fine. The election's on, is it the 3rd or is it the 4th? I thought it was the 3rd.
I think it's the 3rd.
Okay.
Oh, fuck, I don't know. I already voted. I don't give a shit.
The 4th is when we cry a lot, or we might cry a little bit. Like, okay,
I'm
it's
gonna
finally
cry
over.
no matter what.
It's finally
Yeah.
over, but we'll see.
So November 3rd starts this crazy... Actually, I think we're already starting the crazy transmission period because both China, man, is having his massive cult rallies left and right, and that's got to be transmitting it. Action's going to transmit it, and then we have the fun of Thanksgiving and Christmas parties, and oh my god, like...
Yeah, and I mean, I work in an office with 4 people total in it.
And you caught it.
Yeah, 2 of us caught it, and we are very careful, always wearing masks around each other, washing hands, sanitizing hands, surfaces, yada, yada, yada. And 2 of us out of the 4 still caught it.
I don't know how I haven't caught it.
I don't know how my wife hasn't caught it. Well, from her job. Now she has had it. But still. Shit.
Well, I mean, like, look at mine. Between all 3 shifts, there's like 600, 700 of us motherfuckers.
And you all work at stations.
Right. I deal with, just quick estimate, like 20 to 30 people nightly, who they deal with God knows how many people throughout their days. Some of them are super cautious. Others are like fake news. It's all a scam. It's all, like...
Yeah.
The thing I don't understand is, all Democrat conspiracy to rig the election. Yes, a global pandemic is just, one
just a Democrat conspiracy.
Is one party.
Don't get me started on that.
But yeah.
No.
No.
Yeah, no tinfoil hats, please.
But yeah, so like our games have changed because we've gone from huge weekly or bi-weekly like food party and booze to, hey, it's a couple hours here every week or bi-weekly, whatever we can do. It sucks. Like, it scratches that itch, but...
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
It's not like I want. One good thing is, I will say is, I've got the 3D printer, and I'm trying to dial in a 0.2 nozzle, which is having... When it works, it's oh my god. When it doesn't work, which is most of the time lately, it's a nightmare, and I have to like literally dismantle the thing constantly. So the nice thing about doing online is, hey, no minis. But the thing that sucks is I still have a bunch of minis that we could use and ready to rock.
Yep, custom characters from good old Hero Forge. And
I should email you mine. I keep forgetting.
Yeah, you're always like, "Hey, I'm gonna email," and it's like, "Okay," and I like spend like the next like 3 days just digging through regular email, junk emails, spam folders, and just being like,
I never planned on sending it.
That's kind of was my
thing. The whole time.
And you printed my bird how many times?
Dude,
just to make him okay.
Dude, your bird, I think I printed like 2-3 dozen times. I've wasted so much filament on that damn bird, and like finally the last time I got him. But I've got some minis here that like I printed on a 0.4 nozzle, and like it turned out really solid because I had all the settings dialed in, and then I got all the settings dialed in to a 0.2, and I printed the same mini, and it's just like I look at the 0.4 and I'm like, you're shit. Seriously, like 0.2 nozzle with the settings I had and all dialed in, like this literally looks like a fucking resin mini, like straight up. And it's like, yeah, that's cool, but like, ugh.
Yeah, and I liked playing in person, even if we didn't do like the whole game mat or the dungeon tiles or anything like that. We were still having a good time. We were still in person. Expressions, everything. It was better.
It's that, but you also get the whole like.
I think this is going into our next topic.
Okay.
So before we get into it, let's take a quick break.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Great.
Take a quick second during this break to check out our social media. We have Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and we post all of our podcasts on YouTube, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, something else. We got a whole bunch of them. Check them out. www.busyaddults.com.
So, the merits of online play is it scratches that itch. Plain and simple. It gets the itch scratched. You are playing D&D. Unless, I mean, because I've seen some videos on YouTube of motherfuckers who use, like, Roll20 and that are just absolutely, like, they are into it.
Beautiful.
You are using that theater of mind. One thing I would love to try, and, you know, maybe after I work all this crazy overtime, because my soul belongs to my work right now for the foreseeable future, so, you know, I'm counting down the days to Thanksgiving, because that's probably going to be my literal next day off. I'd like to take some of this overtime money, put it to the side, and be like, oh, hey, Steam sales are coming up. I would love to try the tabletop simulator.
Oh,
when
yeah.
they go on sale, because they usually sell for like, oh, $30. Here's 4 passes. Or even Fantasy Grounds I've thought about trying to get into, because I've seen stuff on that too. I mean, there's other stuff, and if we're doing online, you know, we could definitely do like, oh, hey, let's try to get a computer, you know, with everyone to use and stuff.
Yeah, some of those maps that people make for the screens for home games
Yes.
are just gorgeous.
Oh, the animated maps, they're fucking beautiful.
Oh, the
I've
animated
seen-
maps.
Oh man,
like
there was one that I saw with they were on a ship and it was in a fog, and it was like raining and the fog was coming over top of it.
Oh, that's
and
so
lightning
nice.
was coming off. Oh my god, it was beautiful.
Oh yeah, like it reminds me back to the old StarCraft days, because StarCraft 1, you could make your own campaign type thing,
Mm-hmm.
and they had, God, I can't remember what they're called. Maybe you'll be able to tell me, Monkey. Like, this happens, so it triggers this.
Yeah, that's just event stuff.
Okay, well, yeah. So
I think event triggers.
Yes,
That's what I call them.
I think that's actually what they were called. Were triggers.
Yeah, in Unity, that's exactly what it is.
And middle school, it was middle school, early high school. Me was I had buddies that we would make games and sessions and shit of StarCraft, and then we'd shoot them to each other. And I had one because we had a bus driver back in the day that she had this giant mole on her like cheek, and I made this whole session of like you had to like take out 2 or 3 of the creepy kids on the bus that were little Zerg type bosses and stuff. And then, you know, you had to go on and take out the bus driver, and then you turned out like the actual bus driver was just a poor victim, and it was the evil mole that was controlling her.
And I think I know the
God.
bus driver too. I think I had her.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So they would have it set up where like, oh hey, you move your token here, or you move your character here. This is what happens. It would like sayings would pop up. I've seen videos of people doing the same thing, like where they're like, hey, your tokens you have, move them here, say what you want. Oh, this happens if, and like they're very in depth. Kudos to them. Either they know the coding and all that very like the back of their hand, so to them it's secondhand nature, or they don't work and they don't have kids, so they're not a busy adult.
That's more of what it is, because I've wanted to do the same thing just to fuck around with it in Unity, which is a 3D game engine. You can do 2D, 2.5 isometric, whatever. And you can do the same thing. Set up your own event triggers. You can either do complete code or code lists using their new system. And I've thought about doing the same, but I don't have the time. Because busy adult.
Unfortunately, that is our lot in life, our namesake.
Yeah.
Busy adults.
Yep.
But that's great. I mean, I miss online play. Or online.
Offline.
In-person play, because there's just, you can have chemistry with the people around you. It's so much easier to see somebody right next to you and go off of their cues and, you know, be able to like actually go and whisper to somebody a secret.
Yeah.
Or, oh, you got a good perception? Actually, come over here to the kitchen real quick. I gotta tell you something.
Or pass them a note or something like that.
Yeah, and the minis and the maps. Well, while we use those in Roll20, I don't use them to the full extent that they could, because I have made a couple of maps before and we used those, But those are just like kind of one-off maps. The whole game isn't a map. You're able to practically make the whole game a map because you have so many of the tiles. You just interchange them and move them to where we are, or if there's an encounter or whatever. And it's great. It's beautiful. I love a home game. And then the other social aspect of it. We're not just playing a game. Like, we're hanging out, we're having dinner together, we're watching all of our kids grow up, we're watching a game.
Yep.
You know, we're just bullshitting.
Yep.
And that's another part that, you know, I think we all miss too. But in person or online, that's a whole different story. It's 7:30 p.m. That means it's time for D&D. D&D ends at 9:30 p.m. or when I stop it, because sometimes we go over a little bit, but not too many times.
Right.
And that's it. You get your fill, you get your, you know, episode of whatever session or campaign that we're playing, and then you can go on with your day, because you need to have some little bit of D&D in your life, but you also have to cook dinner for your family and go to bed at a reasonable hour.
But no, I mean, it's, you know, online play, like we were saying, it scratches that itch. If, you know, at least one or maybe two of us weren't so busy, we could get some of these fancy maps. But, you know, and I think even Ray, even your couple last sessions, you use the map more for like, oh hey, here's strategery, here's where the enemies are, here's where you guys are.
We play in a galaxy quite often.
Yeah. But, you know, that's one of the good things. That's kind of where we talk about the upsides and downsides of playing with a map in Theater of the Mind. Sometimes certain characters and certain classes, they need to have a map. Like, if you're a monk, if you are any kind of caster with, like, AoE type of spells or stuff like that, it's better to have a map to play with, because you can actually visualize it and you can use strategy to get the best hits or use your movement to the best of its ability. Whereas Theater of the Mind, it's a lot more loosey-goosey, and I think it's easier for people who are maybe newer to the game, since they're not having to get into, okay, this spell range is 60 feet and I'm only 40 feet away, so I'm going to do, you know, it's...
Yeah, you know, they don't have to worry about the rules.
It's more crunchy.
Much. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not bad, but it just might be easier for newer players to play in the mindset of, okay, yeah, go ahead. You're within range. You don't have to worry about range or anything like that. You know, unless you say you're 100 feet up in a tree.
Right.
Chances are you're in range.
I want to use shock and grasp. No.
For
100 feet away.
Of like strategery would be, I think, not the last session, but the session before of yours, where Aaliyah moved up 25 feet, looked at the paladin and went, hey, watch this, and then summoned like 8 fucking demons.
Yeah, all those little cockroaches.
Yeah. You know, right in the middle of 3 flying V formation enemies, just someone's like, boom, there's 8 demons. Little demons.
Yeah,
and
right, and with Theater of the Mind, there's no way that any of that could be possible. It would just pretty much like be one-on-one, or everybody's clumped.
Yeah.
It's too difficult to explain.
Yep.
So maps are great. Maps have a purpose in some games.
I definitely prefer the maps just because, again, like, you can do a lot more strategic things with it. You don't have to constantly ask, how far away am I from them? And stuff like that. I'd much rather have a map, even if it's just blank squares, as long as I can tell where everything is and if there's obstacles. That's it. Theater of the Mind's great. I love it. It's awesome for, you know, using your imagination and whatnot, but I like to have the map so I can visualize it, exactly what's going on.
Yeah, using your spells and abilities to the best of their ability.
Yeah.
But, you know, now we're also playing more complex characters. You know, the first session in that, I think, like, the most complex character was, like, Ray's cleric.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was like the only spellcaster.
Yeah.
And I brought my spell book with me that was like this huge.
Yeah, you built your own spell book, you built your own dice
I gotta do it. I studied my spell book.
Yeah.
I would take my spell book with me to work, and I would study my spells. But I would never get to use any because I had to keep healing you fuckers.
Yep. Because we wouldn't die. If me or Yako would have died, we would have picked a spellcaster. But we never.
Well, I kept
died.
keeping all of you alive.
I
That's
know.
why.
I know.
You're welcome.
But yeah, I mean, they all have their benefits. I think even like some of our campaigns before lockdown, when I didn't have a 3D printer, you know, we would use a map and be like, oh hey, here's this, and just like here's your tokens.
Yeah.
So y'all could figure out. I mean, that's works fine too. I know some people are like, you know, on some forums, and even I've had this discussion in groups before, like theater of the mind. If all you're using is like a square map and tokens, that's still theater of the mind. It's not like their definition of not using theater of the mind is you have a full-on like critical role type battle set that like
you
there's
spent
a tree
weeks building,
right?
Yeah.
by hand carving all this model foam and everything.
Like, right, and that's literally what some of the group discussions were like. Well, I have all these trees that I made and all these minis I've bought, and you're just like, good on you.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm glad that you have
Yeah.
a job that you can afford all this, but especially when I had these discussions in group, I was probably high school, early college, just out of high school. So it's just like, cool, I don't have a job.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. You got the time, but not the job.
Right.
I don't have the allocation of funds. Now I've got all the allocation of the funds and not the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I have a Twitch channel that gets, 20,000 views every Thursday, I might be able to carve out a little bit of time and money to do that. But
With,
unfortunately,
corporate
I don't.
sponsors too, and donations and people just paying you just because you're playing D&D.
Yeah.
Any of that. Yeah.
That's not my lifestyle. I'd love that to be my lifestyle.
Oh my god, that would be
Absolutely.
amazing.
Yeah.
Like,
no,
hey,
But
gotta work
I don't
for a
think it's
living.
going to happen anytime soon.
No. But hey, if somebody wants to sponsor us, we will absolutely be happy to take you.
Give us your money.
Money or dice or minis.
Oh,
or
the shiny click clacks.
anything and everything. We will blast the hell out of your shit.
That's
Yep.
another thing I miss about in-person gaming is all the dice. Like,
Oh man,
seriously,
Ray
think I
is our
started-
dice goblin.
That's why I'm laughing.
yeah, Ray is.
I think
the dice
I think I'm about to be roasted. Hold on.
No, Ray's. How many dice subscriptions do you have?
Oh, man.
Okay, at one point in time, I had 4 dice subscriptions going, so that's a total of like maybe 7 sets of dice a month that I was getting. But it wasn't. I only have 1 subscription right now, so I only get 2 sets of dice a month.
Gotcha. That's what
Only.
That's what I'm rocking right now. Is the 2 sets
I buy a set of dice every year.
or 1 set. Yeah, I got 1 set a month.
I'm working on my second set of metal die.
The funny thing was, I found one of those Facebook groups that were like, "Hey, we're a new upstart company. We'll send you free blood splatter dice." I'm like, "Okay, cool."
Oh,
Ruthless
yeah.
Rolling. Hold
Yeah.
on. This is our review of Ruthless Rolling.
This is not gonna be good, I don't think.
I promise if you sponsor us, it won't sound like this.
The next
I will
time.
start. I know you and I have had different opinions on them. My
Yeah.
opinion is starting to shift towards yours because the dice they send, or don't get me wrong, are cool. I like the way they look. They seem balanced well enough. The problem I have, and Ray had and canceled them, was I'm at the point now where I'll get charged for this month's. A month will go by. I'll get charged for next month's, and I still won't have this month's dice.
Oh yeah, no, fuck that. No.
There's a 4 or 5 week gap of when I get charged versus when I get my dice.
No, if I pay you for something monthly, you need to send that shit.
Oh no, you get it. It's
now,
just,
not
yeah.
5 weeks from now. No.
Well, they don't send me tracking anymore.
Because
they used to.
shady as hell.
Well, they used to. They used to be really good on tracking.
Tracking's
but
not
they
that
were
much
telling-
money.
Well, yeah, I know, but still.
We
they
ship
come
shit all the
from
time.
BFE China.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why. Yeah, they don't like to send tracking, and if they
No,
do,
they-
it's always months out.
they would send tracking, and it's like, okay, cool. But I remember when I first got my blood splatter dice, I was like, hey guys, I got my Rona dice. And like, this is like when we still didn't know,
how bad it was going to be.
Well, it was starting to become
is.
apparent bad because I think it was like right before or right after lockdown started. Yeah. So it was around early March. So it's like, hey, no, it was February because I remember I got them afternoon before a session. They all came over. So like I was like, hey, I got my Rona dice.
Because I told you to Lysol them.
Yeah, and you were like, you better Lysol before we all come over. And I'm like, actually, I haven't even opened the package yet. I'm about to dump them into hot, almost boiling water with soap.
Might as well just throw them in a bucket of bleach.
And, I mean, I always had the best of luck if I, like, had a question, because I think, like, my third or fourth month, I was like, hey, I haven't got my dice yet. And, they were pretty good about 2-3 weeks out. And they were like, oh, yeah, COVID, sorry, here's some updated tracking. And they got stuck in New York for, like, a month.
Yep, customs do that.
And that's, like, when New York, all the stories were coming out. They had the mass graves, the massive body coolers. Like, I'm like, okay, I can understand this. I don't get tracking anymore. I haven't gotten tracking for like the last 3 sets. And they literally like, it's like, oh, hey, I got charged. And like, this is the point of it, of how sad it is. It's like, oh, hey, Rufus Roland just charged me for my monthly subscription. That means last month's dice will be here within a week. And I sent him an email like, hey, if this is how this is gonna be, you better give me tracking or else I want to cancel. I haven't heard shit. And beforehand, if I had any issues, like, they were on top of my shit. Being third shift lifestyle, I guess my time sync up with China's perfectly, so I'd send them an email before I'd go into work at 11, and I'd get a response around 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. Like, oh, hey, yeah, we're sorry, this is what's going on. If you have any questions, please feel to respond. And yeah, they were always good, and now they're kind of like, oh, hey, I'm done.
You get what you get.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there's a couple other ones that I've noticed that I caught another one that I'm seeing a lot on Facebook, and they're, oh, we're U.S. based, Yeah, the company is. But you're still getting your shit from BFE China. Like, I almost feel like, oh, hey, are you Ruthless Roland 2.0 where, you're ordering your dice from them, and, you're based in Tejas, but...
Where are you getting your dice from, dude?
Yeah, where are you getting your dice?
Where are you shipping your dice from?
Yeah.
Now, I've seen some that are like, hey, our dice are made in the U.S., this is where it is, but you're also paying a lot more.
Right.
Yeah. That's the trade-off, buying from our own country, we have to pay more than buying from somewhere else.
But we don't get paid more. Like, that's the problem, but that's a whole different debate.
This is...
Yeah. No, we're talking about D&D.
D&D! Yeah, I love my dice. Okay, the session's coming up. I'm at Drake's house. Hold on, guys. Whoosh, just drop out all of my dice, and then I have to roll all of them to see which ones are working for me and which ones aren't. And then the bad ones go into the jail, and then I keep the good ones. And then...
Yeah, that was another reason why our sessions were so long, is Ray had to spend half an hour minimum, and that's when she didn't have as many dice as she does
that's
now.
That's when she didn't have the Laura Bailey bag.
Laura Bailey, harp music. Oh, boy.
Yeah, she's got...
That boy's pretty full.
The big... Oh, it's full now? When you first got it, it was like maybe half.
I think I'm about at 70%.
Oh shit!
Oh my god!
Like capacity.
Oh my god! Yeah. So
and not even all my dice are in there. I've started to lose dice. They're around the house. Like I have a random D12 right in front of me. I don't know why. It's just here.
That's not good.
I've got a half-filled crown bag of dice, and I'm like, I got a good thing going, and Ray's like, look, I have a purse filled. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, I've got like maybe 4 or 5 sets of just your standard dice, and then 2 metal sets, and that's it. And I'm okay.
My dream is to Scrooge McDuck into
oh my god,
into a vault of dice. And swim and then like spit them out like that's my dream is Scrooge McDuck.
No.
That's how Rhea dies, because she's gonna dive in and impale herself on a bunch of
D4s.
Yep.
I don't have that many metal sets. I only have a handful of them, so they shouldn't kill me. So I don't know. Do you want to wrap this up here and just give a What do you like? What do you prefer? What would you like your next game to be? Let's start with Monkey. Since you're the player,
Yeah.
you're an exclusive player here.
Right now I am, yeah. So, I mean, I would love to do in person again, but with how things are going, and even, again, I got the Rona in an office of 4 fucking people. I would love to do in person, but I think still doing online is going to be the best bet for everyone, just to keep everyone safe, the little ones safe, and shit like that. But I love maps, so bring on the maps, and I can
what
even
you're
make them.
saying is that I have to make more maps.
Or I can make the maps, or at least like the pieces. I would love to do in person, but really online's going to have to be the way to go for a while till this shit gets under control, which hopefully is not much longer.
Fingers crossed.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
What about you, Drake?
I mean, I miss the sessions. I miss getting everyone together. I miss the food. I miss the drink. I miss the dice. The thing I loved about in person was the suspense. You know, roll 20, we just hit the button. We don't have the dice. They don't roll. It pops up. That's your number.
Yeah.
You still kind of have like, oh my god. I think it was like this last week or last session where I got a double 20 and we all flipped shit. But I don't know, there's something about actually rolling that dice and that collective breath held at the table that everyone can feel, everyone knows. You know, my computer is starting to show its age. It's like 6 years old. I've upgraded here and there. So, like, the double 20, I think, showed up on everyone else's, and everyone's like, are you serious? Oh! And then, like, 2 seconds later, it showed up on mine, because it's, like, lagging. Even though Monkey and I probably have the best internet out of all the group. I was the last one to know. In person, that wouldn't have happened. We all would have been watching and been like, holy fuck!
Yeah.
Like, there's just something about that collective, the rare double fail or the double success on, you know, oh, look, a double nat 20 on a disadvantage roll. Holy fuck, oh!
Yeah.
Or, hey, you have advantage and you double nat 1. Like, there's just something about it's just better in person and collectively as a whole. In person, when you have that bombshell drop and you wrap up a session like I did with the last campaign, where at the end of a session, you guys were trying to figure out, like, what the hell could stop this goddess or this demon trying to go god form, and you find out, oh, hey, we figured out how to stop her. It involves us summoning a fucking Tarrasque and pinning her to the ground and letting the Tarrasque devour her. And I was so glad the way the fate worked out, because Rhea was the one who rolled the knowledge. I whispered it in your ear and just seeing your face and your stomach drop. And then you explained it to the rest of the group, and
it was amazing. That was a great game moment that could not have happened online.
It couldn't have. Online, it would have just lost it, because I whispered in your ear, we all watched you and your facial expressions and your stomach drop. And Monkey and Yaka roughly knew what a Trask was. The spouses had no idea, so like, it was lost on them. But still, it's one of those, like you said, it online, you know, I could whisper it to you, but they're not going to get your facial reactions, or you're just going to be like, fuck, and everyone's going to go, well, what's going on? What'd you find out?
Yeah.
It's, you know, it just, in person has that suspense because you get all the reaction.
Yep.
So definitely I'm in person 100%.
I like in person. Yeah, so I like in person for sure. I like online because that's kind of it's where I started DMing, was online. So it's easier for me. I don't have to have a book. I don't have to let me try to find a CR 1/4 animal or demon so I can put 8 of them on the map, like how you had summoned. I'm on a computer. I have all of the resources at my fingertips. Click, 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 click. Find a thing, enter it. Yup, drag, drop, done. It took a couple of minutes, whereas in real life it would have taken probably 15 minutes for me to figure out how to do it. Okay, I gotta find the stat block. Let me have this open. Let me do this. And there's a lot. And then on top of that, and one of the other great things about online is that it does a lot of the math for you.
Right.
You don't have to worry about... although, Drake and Ryder, you've been having a little bit of problems with your Eldritch Blast. We'll figure that out.
Keeps forgetting to add that charisma.
Keeps forgetting your charisma. But for the most part, You click a button to roll, and you click one more button, and it rolls all of your damage for you. You don't have to sit there and carry the 4 and add this. And, oh, I forgot, I also have to put my this modifier in. You know, it's one of the great things about being online, and that's why I kind of prefer to play online. But it's just not the same game as in person. You don't get the sense of being together as much when you're online. When you're online, you're a little square on a screen, and you're alone in your house. Yeah, if you even have a camera. But when you're in the game, there's a DM, and he's behind, or she, whatever, is behind their screen, and everybody else is circled around them. We all have our dice, we all have our sheets, we all have whatever, and it's like, we're together. We are the team. You know, I can look at and touch each one of you, sticking my little arms out, you know, and it's nice because I can be, you know, a team member with you guys in person. But I think for now, I'm just going to continue liking to play online, and I'm going to continue liking to DM online. You should try it sometime. It's very convenient.
No, I my thing right now is work. I'm hoping that, you know, come New Year, things will die down, and I am planning on being like, okay, I'm gonna start running, even if it's because, man, 6 players. Like, I want Gitgrim back so bad because I have this world fleshed out. I have a OneNote just filled with all this shit. I'm not gonna let this campaign die, but I can't do 6 people.
Even if it's just a little one, like Ray's other campaign where there's no plot. We're writing the plot for her as we do things.
No, see, that's fun. That's not how I DM. Like, I want, like, a story.
We're completely different DM styles, which is fine.
No, it definitely works. But yeah, it's 2 different DM styles. I like story. I've thought about just, you know, hey, if I can get off this fucking 7 days, 6 days, 13 days in a row day off bullshit, because that's literally what I've been on since Labor Day. Is, you know, I went 20 some days with, I think 27 days without a day off, got a day, then I worked 13 days, got a day, and now maybe I'll get lucky and get a day off, not this weekend but next weekend. But I'm not holding my breath. I'm literally like, hey, I'm probably gonna be working till fucking Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, I just, with the sleep and all that, I've gotta, you know, do what's best for me and mine, and sadly DM's gotta be put on the back burner right now. But I'm hoping, you know, that I'll get a Christmas shutdown, maybe run a couple one-shots with y'all's. Hopefully come New Year, be off this 7-day bullshit.
Yep.
And be like, okay guys, let's do a one-shot.
Let's play.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have you be a DM again.
I miss it. Like, I know some people are always like, oh, forever a DM, forever a DM. Like, I love playing, I love being a character, but I also love being the storyteller behind the scenes.
Yeah. It's been a long time since you've been a DM.
I mean,
months.
Yeah.
I think it's been
7 months.
How old are the twins now?
They will be 6 months next week.
So 6.5 months, because I think we killed Gitgrum, or put it on pause, like a week or 2 before they were born.
Yeah, it's like every week. Hey, how are they doing? How's the wife doing?
Yeah.
Well, she's not in labor yet, so I guess okay.
Yeah, we'd be playing online and, okay, monkey.
Is she in labor? What's going on? Oh, nope, you were just pooping. Never mind.
Yep, sorry.
Nope, something happened, so they went silent. Yeah, like that literally was the ongoing joke for like a month.
Yep.
In any of our campaigns, like, monkey's quiet. In my campaign, Jenny's quiet too. The babies are coming.
Yeah, in reality, we just muted our mics or something.
Yeah.
What do you think, guys?
I think that's good.
Yeah.
I think it's good.
Yeah.
Good job, y'all.
So, everybody, subscribe, like us, follow us, whatever the F you do, wherever you're listening to us. We appreciate it. Busy Adults, busyadults.com, and yeah, go.
We got Facebook, we got Instagram, we got Twitter.
Yeah, all that fun stuff. It's all live and running by now. But,
yeah, I think we just put up episode 2.
Yep.
onto the internets at this point. So Tuesdays is going to be the day. Bi-weekly Tuesdays.
Yep.
We're going to be putting out new episodes. We got a couple in the can ready to go. We've got a lot more planned for the future. It's going to be great.
Like us, follow us, subscribe, give us stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Give us things, please.
Give us
me
things.
money.
We will definitely shout out everybody and everything that you give us.
Absolutely.
Always. But
Look forward to some more one-shots
Yeah.
coming up in the future.
hope you enjoyed the
maybe
horse
some-
one.
Yeah. Oh God. Some guests we should have going on every once in a while.
Yep.
It'll be a good time. Thanks.
Peace.
See you guys.
Bye. Hey, thanks for listening to this episode of Busy Adults. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, do all that fun stuff. Thanks.